It's final exam season, and I know you are not going to wait until the last minute to study, right, students? And teachers, I know you are not going to wait until the last minute to tell students, generally speaking, what's going to be on the final exam, right? Right. And we're not going to do this because we know how to make anti-cram plans, right? Or at least you're going to know how to make an anti-cram plan after you watch this video. Let's dig in. Alrighty, there are 5 steps to making an anti-cram plan. So in this video, I'm going to talk to students first and walk you all through those 5 steps. And then educators, teachers and coaches, please wait until the very end, which is when I'm going to walk you through a special whiteboard for how you can support your students in making an anti-cram plan. Okay, so are you ready? Step number 1 is to do what I call make time visible. Too many students who I coach don't really have a sense about how long is it until final exams. 3 to 4 weeks before finals, what I like to do is make a 1-page making time visible chart. Hopefully we're sliding in right now a picture of that so that students can see where are we today and where is my final exam happening and how many days or weeks are there between today and the actual final exam. So that is step number 1. Often when I have students make this 1-page chart, and it's actually quite important that it's on 1 page. We want to see it in the blink of an eye. It follows what I like to call in my time management processes and my anti-boring approach, the 1 blink test. So on 1 page, and often when students see it all on 1 page, they say, oh my God, I didn't know that finals are so soon, or oh goodness, actually I have a bit more time to study than I thought, so I should get on it. So either way, seeing it on 1 page helps them better understand what they're working with. Step 2 in making an anti-cram plan, because you're not going to wait until the last minute, right? is to prioritize your classes by difficulty. The truth is that no student has time to actually study for every test in every class perfectly. It's just not reality unless you start way in advance. So go ahead and know which are my hardest classes that I'm going to need to be the most mindful about studying for, and at least put those classes on your anti-cram plan. Some students feel too overwhelmed when they put all their classes on the plan, which is one reason why I like to say start with your most difficult 1 or 2, make your anti-cram plan for those 1 or 2 classes, and then you can go back and decide if you want to layer in the other classes that might be a bit easier for you to pass. Step number 3, once you know what your most priority classes are, I have to lean far back on my couch to get it. Organize your study resources. Now, this is such a big one that I'm actually going to make a whole nother video all about how to organize your study resources. So stay tuned for that in this playlist. But for now, just know that it can be really useful to put time on your calendar. So check out the calendar that I'm flying in right now. To put time on your calendar to simply organize everything. This can be a lovely thing to do because it's an easier way to start studying than actually to start studying. So often in the United States, Thanksgiving week is an ideal time to be like, you know what? I'm going to go through my binders. I'm going to look for old tests and quizzes. I'm going to look for flashcards that I've made and kind of put everything in one place. Maybe teachers have sent me objectives that help me know how to study or study guides for past tests. I'm just going to pull all of those together and start making my plan based on those resources. So that is step number 3. Step number 4 is to schedule time to retrieve or to practice retrieval. If you don't know what that means, you might want to head on over to gretchenwegner.com/study because that's where you will find out more about my 3-step study cycle three-step study cycle. Say that 3 times fast. And that will tell you much more information about what I mean by the word retrieve. For now, all you need to know is that it means time to test yourself to see what you know and what you don't know. So it can be a really good idea to put on your calendar. I'm going to go through all of my flashcards, for example, if you have them in a language class, and just see where am I with all these words and make a pile of what I seem to know and what I seem not to know. Too many students end up taking time studying stuff they already know. So if you put time on your calendar earlier on in your study process to schedule time to retrieve, that's a really good thing to do because it might lessen the amount of actual learning time you need to put into your study plan. Okay, we're ready for step 5, your final step in the anti-cram process. And that is to schedule time to encode in a new way. Now, again, if you don't know what this term means, it is a crucial step in my 3-step study cycle. So go to gretchenwegner.com/study to take a better look at that. For now, what this means is to teach yourself the stuff you haven't learned yet. That's the simple way of understanding encoding in a new way. So schedule time to, my favorite way when I was in high school was I had a big blackboard. This was back in the 80s. We actually had a big blackboard in my house. And I would fill the blackboard with pictures, little pictures of the words or the concepts that I didn't understand, drawing arrows between them. I'm not saying you need to do that exactly, but that was encoding in a new way time. If you are familiar with my anti-boring approach to powerful studying, this is a great time to use all your study senses in order to try and learn the information that you're having trouble remembering with a lot of variation so it's not boring. This is encode in a new way time. All right, so you now know all 5 of the steps to making an anti-cram plan. I recommend that you start right now. Don't just think, okay, I'm done. Right now, get yourself out a piece of paper, draw out a rectangle, put the lines in that rectangle so that you can see how many weeks do you have, and sketch yourself out a shitty first draft, I like to call it, of your anti-cram plans, and just see what that feels like to try that right now, students. Teachers, hang tight, because there are some things you can do to help out with this process. Before we get there, though, I want to just do a quick plea to everyone to please like and subscribe this channel. Comment below if you have any questions. I'm trying to pay more attention to comments than I have in the past so that I can engage everyone in conversation around these really important ways to make learning anti-boring. And also, I want to invite you to come to my next free office hours on Zoom. GretchenWegner.com/live will give you the date for the next one. I'm always so happy to talk to students or parents or educators. Any questions you have about the contents of my videos, how we can de-stressify school in anti-boring ways. And also, guess what? If you are an educator who is thinking, I might like to start my own business as an academic life coach, I have a whole training all about how you can transition from teaching to coaching, maybe as a side gig or maybe as your full-time gig. I will give you a behind-the-scenes view about what it looks like to have an academic coaching business. Alrighty, teachers, it is your turn. There is a lot that teachers can do to help students be able to understand how to prepare themselves, how to think big picture. I think that's why I'm doing this big circle with my finger. How to think big picture about how to study for all their finals. So, special whiteboard just for you. One thing that teachers could definitely do is to pass out a 1-page calendar, a lot like I create for my students, or the ones that I have been showing you in this particular video are a sample of what I pass out to a specific high school that I do an hour-long presentation to students every year about how to study for final exam. So you could just simply pass that out. To be able to pass it out 3 to 4 weeks ahead of finals is ideal. I know many teachers actually don't even start talking to students about final exams until the week before finals. That, in my opinion, as an academic coach, is way too late. I get it though, teachers are as overworked as students are, so sometimes you just can't get to thinking ahead about it. But if you can, even if you don't know exactly what's going to be on it yet, get them thinking about this by passing it out 3 to 4 weeks before and having them start seeing how soon finals are coming. The next thing is to help students organize the quizzable study tools from your class. Now, ideally, this would be something that you would be doing all semester long, old tests, old quizzes, even homework assignments. There are lots of ways that you can make sure that the assignments that you're giving students are quizzable. And I forgot to turn my cell phone off. Sorry about that, ding. So what I mean by quizzable is it is a resource with which students can look at the question, test themselves to see if they know it or don't know it, and then see the answer so that they can successfully assess themselves. So help them organize these things, maybe even give them class time to look through their binders and organize their binders, or even organize their desktops, their computer desktops if you use any technology in your classroom. This can be a wonderful way to orient students. And then as you get closer to exams, providing in-class opportunities to retrieve and encode. I love it when teachers teach students these words and what they mean. And the way you do that is you learn the study cycle and then you teach the study cycle to students. My course, The Art of Inspiring Students to Study Strategically, is designed to help teachers in these tiny 10-minute mini lectures teach students about all the brain theory related to how great learning happens. And my ideal would be teachers who really know how to easily incorporate this kind of science, these kinds of specific strategies into their curriculum. For now, though, if that's not you yet, at least provide them opportunities to test themselves and let them know, I'm helping you right now. The things that you discover you don't know, let's make a list of them so that you can study those in a new way. And then the encoding part, maybe have a whole class right before finals dedicated to what are the things that you don't know yet. Ask each other, ask me, draw silly pictures, make up songs. This is our Encode in a New Way day. Teachers, the more you can incorporate these strategies and also tell students why you are incorporating these strategies, which is, by the way, to help model what they can do when they're on their own during study time. The more you can do these things, the better you're able to help students whose executive functions haven't fully formed yet be able to practice strategies so that they can do them on their own. It will be such a gift to them. Thank you in advance for giving them this gift. And just a reminder, if you have questions about any of this, I am available free once a month at gretchenwegner.com/live. So please come ask any study questions. Okay, take good care.